Hey guys, I'm Mezzy and welcome to this Quickstart guide for Mythic Black Rook Hold. Hold is one of the old expansion dungeons joining the Mythic Plus dungeon pool in Season 3. First up is the Amalgam of Souls, where you get an arrow on your head from Swirling Scythe, move away from where you were standing, and don't stand in the scythe. Next, when Soul Echoes gets cast on you, move away from others and keep moving. Swirls will spawn and no one should stand in these. Tanks, face the boss away from the group, and when Reap Soul gets cast, move out of the big cone. Lastly, the boss will move into the middle of the room for an intermission. Slow, stun, and kill the restless soul adds that spawn, and don't let them reach the boss. If they do reach him, they will give him a stacking damage buff. When all souls are dead or absorbed by the boss, he will deal AoE damage with Soul Burst, so use a personal to reduce your damage taken. Now one last tip, if you have roots, use them to keep one ad rooted. The boss will keep channeling until 15% health and then uses AoE anyway. Next is Illysanna Ravencrest. To start with, spread out so that Brutal Glaive doesn't bounce between you. Next, when you have an arrow on your head, move to the edge of the room with all 3 players on the same side. And if you don't have an arrow on your head, don't stand between the players that do, because the boss will Dark Crush between those players and leave behind Fellfire on the ground. Vengeful Shear is the tank buster on the tank. You need to heal through that. And lastly, at 100 energy, an intermission occurs. Kite the eye beam away from the middle of the room, kill the ants that spawn, and interrupt the Arcanist's Arcane Blitz. The third boss is Smashspite the Hateful. To start with, the boss will charge at players with Hateful Gaze. He will hit the first person he touches, and that person will get a debuff increasing their damage taken by Hateful Gaze by 500%. So if someone gets targeted that already has the debuff, let someone else stand between the boss and the target to get hit. Next, the boss will be dealing AoE damage and push you back with Earth-Shaking Stomp. Not much you can do about it, just heal through it. Meanwhile, Fellbats in the air will be leaving behind lines of Fellfire on the floor by targeting a random player. To help group up the fire, everyone should group up on the same side of the room, and then move as the area fills up with fire. Lastly, at 100 energy, the boss will use Brutal Haymaker on the tank. Use cooldowns as in addition to the big hit of damage you're about to take, you're also going to take 75% more damage for 15 seconds. The final boss is Lord Kur'talos Ravencrest and is a 2-phase encounter. In phase 1, move out of the Dark Blast beam on the floor, and move away from the whirling blade that will move between a player's location and the boss. At the same time, the group will be taking damage from random Shadow Bolt casts, and the tank will have the damage of Unerring Shear to deal with. When Kur'talos goes low on health, phase 2 starts and this is the real fight. Shadow Bolt Volley will be cast right away and everyone in the group should use a personal cooldown to reduce the damage. The first volley is the most dangerous, because after it the group is going to be buffed for the rest of phase 2, increasing health, damage and healing by 300%. For the rest of the fight, stinging swarm ads will be put on players that deal damage and can stun them. Kill them to get rid of them. Green clouds of hypnosis will spawn around the room, obviously don't stand in these. And lastly, when Dreadlord's Guile gets cast, multiple beams from phase 1 will spawn. These will rotate around the room, so move with them until they despawn. And that's all you need to know for the Black Rook Hold bosses. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe and share it with others. I would very much appreciate it as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. For now, I'm Mezzy and I'll see you again next time.